I was at Luke Dawson's beck and call for 3 years. Cooked for him, did his laundry, even helped him with his elective assignments. Later, someone asked him, "Luke, Jennifer Delaney's been fawning over you for so long. Didn't you ever feel anything for her?" In the dim light, I heard him chuckle softly. "Huh? She's just a nanny. Why would I?" The room burst into laughter. But what they didn't know was that Luke paid me 60 grand a month. I really was just his highly paid campus nanny. The day I met Luke was the lowest point of my life. My dad broke his leg at a construction site. My mum was exhausted, juggling 3 jobs while caring for him, and even fainted from overwork. I was ready to drop out of school to find work. But then Luke showed up. He said he needed a campus nanny and asked if I was up for it. "Don't worry, young master. I can cook, clean, do laundry, scrub the floors, even the toilets." He laughed and said, "No need to scrub the floors or toilets." After a brief pause, he added, "And don't call me young master." "Got it, classmate Luke." And just like that, I landed a high-paying job. Boss Luke generously paid me 3 months' salary up front, 180,000, which covered my dad's surgery. From then on, I devoted myself entirely to serving Boss Luke. He had an apartment near campus and told me I could use the kitchen whenever I wanted. So every morning at 6, I'd get up and prepare him a lavish breakfast, then deliver it to his dorm. I hand-washed every piece of his clothing, ironed them, and neatly folded them. Twice a week, I brought him desserts tailored to his preferences, low fat, low sugar, and with at least 4 kinds of fresh fruit. Whenever he had dinner plans with friends, I'd book the restaurant and pre-order the food. Everyone on campus mocked me, saying I was lovesick and pathetic. But I was just doing my job, wasn't I? One afternoon, Luke messaged me again about another dinner with his roommates. "They want to have some drinks. Find a quieter place. Reply when you get this." I tapped on my phone and replied, "1." Then I started searching for the right venue. After making the reservation, I sent him the address and private room number. "Need me to call a car for you?" "No, I'll drive myself." "But you're drinking, right?" "I'll book you a designated driver." Luke sent back a voice message. "Forget it. Just come along. You can drive me home afterward." Okay. I had gotten my license last year, specifically for situations like this. After Luke got in the passenger seat, he closed his eyes to rest. I picked up his 3 roommates at the campus gate. When they saw me behind the wheel, they looked like they'd seen a ghost. "Jennifer, you're coming too?" I shook my head. "No, I'm just driving you guys there and bringing you back afterward." One of the guys clicked his tongue twice. "Girl, you're really simping hard. No need to go this far." Luke suddenly opened his eyes slightly. "Jennifer, why are you still parked here?" "Waiting for a ticket?" I quickly apologized and merged into traffic. Luke had told me to keep my job as his campus nanny a secret. Since money's involved, people will start speculating. If rumors spread, it won't be good for either of us. Better to let them think you're just hopelessly into me. You get paid. I get the service. Win-win. Of course, I agreed. Luke was the boss, and a very generous one. He was always right. Besides Luke's roommates, a few of their classmates came too. After a few rounds of drinks, they started playing truth or dare. When it was Luke's turn, a girl named Jessica asked, "Luke, Jennifer's been simping for you forever. You never felt anything?" "No. Why not? She's pretty cute." "Not your type?" Luke chuckled. "Huh? She's just a nanny. Why would I feel anything?" I glanced into the private room and met Jessica's gloating gaze. That very night, my name showed up on the campus confession wall. "Jennifer, Luke has made it clear he's not interested. Please stop pestering him." To Miss J from class of 21, "Have some dignity, girl. Don't embarrass yourself." A certain Miss Lynn, "Please stop bothering Luke." I was so furious I almost smashed my phone. Spreading rumors like that could cost me my job. I quickly messaged Boss Luke. "Sorry, boss. I'll handle the confession wall issue within 3 days." Luke, 1. But shortly after, he added, "So annoying. How about you just be my girlfriend instead? My hands shook so hard I dropped my phone. Boss, I can't do that. I'd go from a paid nanny to a free one. So I replied, I'll have to politely decline. The confession wall thing was probably Jessica's doing. She liked Luke and found out I brought him meals every day, so she tried to compete. Luke had even received her homemade cookies and egg yolk pastries. But Luke thought I made them. He handed me the pink lunchbox and said, Not bad, but don't make these again. Almost broke my teeth. The tiramisu you made before was way better. Embarrassed, I explained. That wasn't from me, boss. There's even a greeting card in the bag. It must be from one of your secret admirers. Luke frowned. Someone else made it. I nodded. He sighed, half annoyed and half amused. Jennifer, if people are giving me food, what does that mean? That you're handsome. No. He crossed his arms. It means she's taking over part of your job. You should be worried about your position as my nanny. My internal alarm bells went off. But boss, isn't handling confessions outside my job description? Why wouldn't it be? You're technically my simp. Shouldn't you be dealing with your competition? Or am I not paying you enough? No, the pay's great. How about this? From now on, if anyone confesses to you, I'll talk to them and make sure they back off. Sound good? Whatever. Getting paid means solving problems. But a few minutes later, Luke handed me a huge basket full of love letters. No idea who wrote all these. Handle it. I estimated there were over 100. This might take a while. As Luke turned to leave, I grabbed his sleeve. Boss Luke! Wait, I think we need a better plan for dealing with these rivals. Luke's birthday was coming up, and his roommates suddenly asked me what gift I was getting him. I hadn't planned on giving him anything. After all, I was a fake simp, not truly into him. But then I figured, maybe I should butter up the boss a little. You have to maintain good workplace relations. How could I not get my boss a birthday gift? His roommates were all chattering around me. Jennifer, you can't let Jessica outdo you this time. I heard she's going all out for Luke's birthday. Rumor has it she made a custom brooch with real jewels. Super expensive. My head was pounding. Spending a fortune on a gift for Luke? That felt completely backward. So I posted online. Guys, my boss's birthday is coming up. What should I get him? The replies were full of suggestions like gold bars, 2 bottles of Mao Tai, and Teguanyin tea. Something felt very off. I posted again. Guys, my crush's birthday is coming up. He's super rich, I'm super broke. Please suggest something cheap. The comments turned into ridicule. Are you okay? Chasing a rich guy when you're broke? Poor and stingy. Try buying him a luxury condo. Amidst the mockery, I found one helpful comment. Go for something handmade, like knitting a scarf yourself. Knitting a scarf was a great idea, cheap and practical. The problem was, I had no time, so I went straight to Taobao and searched hand-knitted scarf service. Turns out, they actually sell that. You could even choose between beginner and expert knitters. I picked the beginner package. The seller guaranteed it would look crooked and clearly handmade. I swear, I just wanted to use this ugly scarf to show my sincerity. Who knew Luke would actually wear it around his neck? Dude, was the beige LV scarf I had dry cleaned for you last week not soft enough? Or were the 2 Burberry plaid scarves I ironed for you not fashionable enough? Why did you hang a 29.9 yuan Taobao hand-knit pumpkin orange chunky scarf around your noble neck? To make up for it, I immediately ordered the 69.9 yuan expert package scarf. When Luke received the second scarf, his expression was a bit complicated. Nicely done, but don't knit anymore. That's when I noticed the red rash on his neck. God, could the synthetic fiber from the 29.9 scarf have caused an allergic reaction on his precious skin? I felt horrible and quickly bought some ointment and handed it over with both hands. I'm so sorry. Luke sat there cool and aloof, making no move to take it. After a long pause, he finally spoke. Jennifer, What are you waiting for? Do you expect me to apply it myself? Oh! I quickly unscrewed the cap, scooped out some of the cool ointment, and gently applied it to his reddened skin. My finger accidentally brushed his Adam's apple. Luke suddenly swallowed hard. Maybe I should do it myself. But when he left, I noticed his ears were so red they looked like they might bleed. Luke was a true rich kid. His family threw him a grand birthday party, packed with elite guests. Technically, it had nothing to do with me. But Luke said I had to go on Saturday. The moment I tried to decline, he shot me a look. It's my birthday party. If you don't attend, who will? Boss Luke, don't you have plenty of housekeepers? What would I even do there? You'll join the team building with my live-in staff. Got a problem with that? My head was spinning. Saturday's team building, and at my boss's house no less. How creative. Luke added, "Oh right, go buy yourself a nicer dress. Don't show up looking cheap." I had only one question. "Boss, can I expense it?" He seemed to hesitate before saying, "Forget it. I'll take you shopping myself. Your taste is concerning." "Say whatever you want, boss. As long as you pay, you're the best." But who would have thought Luke would pick out a dress that cost 59,998 yuan? Just $2 more and it would equal my monthly salary. Trembling, I clutched the price tag and asked, "Boss, you're really covering this, right?" Luke knocked me on the head and told the salesgirl, "Charge it." I admit, those two words, "charge it," were the most beautiful I've ever heard. A 60K dress? Who wouldn't love it? I figured I could wear it for 50 years. Luke didn't invite classmates, but I still ran into Jessica at the Jiang family's mansion. She wore a white chiffon gown and floated in like a butterfly. "Luke!" Then, splat, she face-planted in the middle of the hall. Face down. Guess those polished tiles weren't necessarily a good thing. I kindly helped Jessica up, but she didn't even say thank you, just burst into tears and threw herself into Luke's arms. Luke held his hands up awkwardly, frantically signaling me. "Miss Jessica," I said as I pulled her away. "Luke's suit is wrinkled. It needs some attention." Suddenly, Jessica gasped. "Oh no! The birthday gift I worked so hard on, it broke when I fell." I glanced over. It was probably that infamous brooch she had personally designed and crafted. Not to be rude, but I don't think Luke would appreciate a pink diamond bow brooch. The butler stepped in at the perfect moment. "Miss Jessica, please come with me to the lounge to tend to your injury. I'll have someone repair your gift. Don't worry." The butler then asked, "And this young lady is?" Luke answered for me. "She's Jennifer, my classmate." The butler beamed. "Miss Jennifer, welcome." I shook his hand, thinking, "Butler, shouldn't you be my boss? You can just call me Little Lynn, haha." While I was hiding in a corner sampling some mini cakes, Jessica strolled over and pointed at a rich girl in a pink strapless mermaid gown. "See her? That's Julia, Luke's arranged fiancée." I nodded thoughtfully. "So, the future lady of the house." Jessica sneered. "Jennifer, look at yourself. How could you possibly compete with her?" I blinked in confusion. I never said I was competing. But oddly enough, Jessica and Julia were wearing the same brand and collection down to the exact same necklace. Just then, Julia walked over, warmly greeted us, and introduced herself. "I'm Julia. You must be around Luke's age. I'm a bit older, already graduated. I'm now a jewelry designer." Jessica's face darkened. No wonder she insisted on designing that brooch. This was a battle of pride. Julia handed me a glass of red wine. "Try this. I brought it from home." I took a sip and met her curious gaze. "Delicious. Really good," I complimented. Julia smiled gently and flipped her hair over her shoulder. "It's nothing special. Just something I brew for fun." She handed me another glass. "Try this one." I braced myself and took a sip, then complimented. "Also very good. Honestly, I couldn't taste anything. I'd only had wine a couple of times in my life." Julia toyed with the ring on her finger and said slowly, "You girls are still young. I don't bother competing with you. If Jessica wants to mess with me, that's her business. I couldn't care less. But you, Jennifer, I don't like anyone getting too close to Luke. Julia clearly saw me as a rival. Fair enough. To outsiders, I did seem like I was hopelessly into Luke. Who would have thought it was purely a business arrangement? Just as I was about to explain, Luke appeared. Julia, long time no see. Luke smiled at her. What were you saying to my girlfriend? Julia's gaze swept over me, then Luke, then back to me again. Luke, are you saying this Miss Jennifer is your girlfriend? Luke raised an eyebrow. Is there a problem? Why else would I bring her home if she wasn't? Seriously? Weren't we here for a staff bonding event? Julia politely congratulated him, then excused herself. I lowered my voice and whispered, Boss, this wasn't part of the plan. Luke lowered his voice too. Starting today, you have a new job assignment. What is it? My mum's trying to set me up. You need to pretend to be my girlfriend. I froze for a moment before asking, So, this counts as overtime, right? Luke clenched his teeth. You get a 30% raise. Great, boyfriend. Smiling, I hooked my arm through his. Where do we need to go to put on the act? After that day, news spread all over campus that Jennifer finally leveled up. Everyone knew I was Luke's girlfriend now. One morning, as I got up at 6 again to make breakfast, Luke stopped me. Don't bother. I've been called a jerk for days now. I was confused. Why are people calling you a jerk? Luke looked annoyed. Because I let my girlfriend get up at 6 to make me breakfast. To shake off the jerk label, my pitiful boss not only relieved me from breakfast duties, but even got up early to buy me breakfast himself. I ate nervously. Everyone was congratulating me, saying I finally got everything I wanted. Only Jessica sneered. You don't actually believe this, do you? Luke's just playing with you. So what if he's playing? A 30% raise is a 30% raise. He can play soccer with my head for all I care. Jessica didn't get what she wanted out of me and stormed off, leaving a final warning. You'll see. That night, I found out what she meant. They organized another club dinner and specifically had Luke bring me along. A few guys made snide comments. Jennifer used to follow Luke around like a dog. Now suddenly she's a person. Feels weird. I wasn't having it. Smiling, I shot back. Really? That's normal. Honestly, I feel a little weird seeing you guys too. Where I'm from, pigs aren't usually allowed at the table. The air turned a bit awkward. Jessica tried to smooth things over, urging everyone to eat. Then she started piling food onto Luke's plate non-stop. But Luke had a quirk, he never ate food, others served him. So I tearfully ate it for him. Delicious. After a while, they suggested playing Truth or Dare again. Luke once more drew Truth. Jessica jumped at the chance. Luke, are you serious about Jennifer? Or are you just fooling around? Luke leaned back in his chair, clearly irritated. Are you out of your mind, asking something like that? Jessica flushed, but still pressed on. Just last month, right here, you said you only saw Jennifer as your nanny. Are you saying you like her now? What's wrong with a nanny? I can't like my nanny? Another guy chimed in. Then tell us, what do you like about Jennifer? Luke stared at me for a moment. She's beautiful, elegant, smart. Cooks great. Need me to go on? My face flushed uncontrollably. Why was he complimenting me out of nowhere? So embarrassing. A few days later, Luke moved me into his apartment. On the surface, it looked like sweet cohabitation, but secretly, it was just so I'd get up at 6 to make breakfast. To punish me, he even ordered an 8-dish meal. I had to get up at 5:30 to prepare it. Ruthless capitalist. But I didn't mind. After all, he couldn't finish that much food anyway. It all ended up in my stomach. So I went to the supermarket and bought tons of imported ingredients, choosing the most expensive ones. Everything was reimbursed, after all. The next day, Luke was very satisfied. But who could have expected his mum to suddenly show up? She stared wide-eyed at the feast, then at me in my apron holding a spatula. "Luke, is this how you treat your girlfriend?" I quickly put down the spatula and explained, "Auntie, I volunteered. I really enjoy cooking." But she still scolded Luke for his extravagance. "Your father and I have 3 cooks at home, and we don't even eat this well in the morning." I secretly felt proud. What does this mean? It means my skills are worth 3 professional cooks. Luke's mum strongly invited me to stay at their house for a couple of days. I couldn't refuse, so I went along. She even thoughtfully arranged for me to sleep in Luke's bedroom. I very tactfully started setting up a floor bed. Of course I'd sleep on the floor. No way would I let my noble boss sleep there. Luke watched my smooth movements and seemed like he wanted to say something. "Boss, what is it?" He pushed open a door. "I just wanted to say my bedroom is actually a suite. There's a small room here. No need for you to sleep on the floor." Looking down at the white quilt I'd spread out, I felt a little embarrassed. "Boss, I already dirtied the blanket. Let me change the cover." Late that night, Luke suddenly said his throat was sore and wanted pear syrup. Being the diligent employee I was, I immediately rushed to the kitchen. I sliced a big pear, added fritillary, white fungus, goji berries and rock sugar, and simmered it for half an hour. I poured the syrup into a small bowl and turned to carry it upstairs to Luke. That's when I saw Luke's mum. "Child, you're not seriously getting up in the middle of the night to cook for him, are you?" I explained. "He's coughing a little, so I made him some pear syrup." Luke's mum teared up, grabbing my hand. "You can't love so humbly. The more you give, the more he'll take advantage. What if, in the end, you're left with nothing?" But I did get something. I got precious money. I held Auntie's hand and said, "Auntie, I don't care about any of that. As long as Luke's doing well, I'm happy." The next morning, Luke's face was dark as he asked me what kind of brainwashing I'd done to his parents. "They woke me up early to lecture me for 2 hours, telling me not to toy with your feelings." "Jennifer, explain to me, what exactly do you feel for me? And tell me carefully, how exactly have I been toying with you?" Lately, Luke had been so frustrated he didn't even have an appetite for breakfast. This worked out great for me. I slept in for 3 whole days. Near noon, Luke called and asked me to help him pack. A wave of panic washed over me. "Boss, I only skipped breakfast duty for 3 days. Are you firing me?" Luke. "Huh? Jennifer? Why would I fire you and then have you pack my luggage? Since when is this your house? Am I rolling my suitcase out of your home?" Oh, sorry. As long as I wasn't getting fired, I was fine. I hung up and started packing his stuff. A few seconds later, Luke sent me more messages. "We're going camping. Pack a couple of warm jackets. Bring some basic meds and grab some snacks later. You're coming too." My mouth twitched as I read that last part. What kind of last-minute business trip is this? When we got there, not only were the conditions rough, but I had to share a tent with my boss. Luke whispered in my ear, "Extra 20. 0 yuan bonus this month." I immediately rushed forward and had the tent set up in no time. Standing at the entrance, I waved to him. "Boss, hurry up and come in." Something felt off. The mountain breeze at night was chilly, and my jacket wasn't thick enough. I shivered as Luke draped his windbreaker over me, scolding, "Didn't I tell you to bring warmer clothes?" I laughed nervously. "Boss, when can we go to bed? I'm so sleepy." He pressed his lips together. "Wait a little longer." "Wait for what?" Suddenly, boom! A giant firework exploded in the sky, followed by another and another, lighting up the mountains with bursts of color. It looked like 1,000,000 stars had appeared. Wow! Someone's setting off fireworks. So pretty. No idea which rich idiot is doing this, but we sure got lucky. Luke chuckled softly. I did. Huh? I froze. Boss, I didn't mean to call you a rich idiot, but why the fireworks? Luke suddenly pulled out a rose like a magic trick. Jennifer, will you be my girlfriend? Behind him, fireworks kept bursting. In front of me, a dew-kissed rose. My brain basically crashed. I couldn't think at all. Boss, are you Seriously confessing to me. What else would I be doing? But boss, about my current job. Your salary stays the same. Well, I guess that's not a bad deal. Luke sighed, tucked the rose into my pocket, then cupped my head and kissed me. After becoming Luke's girlfriend, I was even more dedicated. Whenever we traveled, I'd learn how to cook local dishes for him. If we watched a romantic movie, I'd take notes to surprise him later. Luke shook his head helplessly. You're like a spinning top, can't you take a break? A melodramatic drama played on TV while I wiped dust off the coffee table, smiling. No, breaks. After all, I'm getting paid. Luke hesitated. Then, what if I stop paying you? I immediately threw down the cloth. Luke continued. Julia's engagement party is coming up. We need to attend. Who? Julia. I remembered it was his former arranged marriage prospect. I gossiped. Oh, who's she engaged to? One of my cousins. So in the end, it was still a family arrangement. I curiously asked, what about you? No more arranged marriage for you? Luke flicked my forehead. Why do you ask such pointless questions every day? I grabbed some juice from the fridge, and when I turned around, I saw him kneeling on one knee. What are you doing? I reached out to help him. Did you hurt your knee? Luke couldn't take it anymore. Jennifer, I'm proposing. Can you look at the ring in my hand? Achoo, I sneezed. Who would have thought I'd catch a fever right after getting proposed to? Luke clumsily made me ginger tea and seafood porridge. Tears filled my eyes as I ate it bite by bite. As long as you like it, eat more. Luke gently wiped my face with a towel. You want to taste it yourself? Honestly, I've never had seafood porridge this awful in my life. After taking fever meds, I fell asleep. Half asleep, I felt a cool compress on my forehead. It must have been Luke taking care of me. Thanks to him, my fever broke after just one day. The next morning, I felt refreshed. When I walked into the kitchen, I found Luke stirring something strange with a wooden spoon. I asked curiously, "What's that?" Luke scooped some into a small bowl and set it in front of me. I made another batch of seafood porridge. If you like it, eat more. He rested his chin on his hands, looking expectantly. How does it taste? I took a tiny sip and forced a smile. Not bad. He ladled in a big extra scoop. Eat more. It'll help you recover faster. Luke's extra. The first time I met Jennifer, she was handing out flyers in front of a milk tea shop, sweating under the sun. I took one out of habit. Later, I saw her again at school and realized she was my classmate. I overheard people whispering, "Why does Jennifer work so many part-time jobs? Is her family poor?" Probably. It's weird she even has a scholarship, but still doesn't have enough. The next time I saw her was outside a hospital. Her eyes were red as she called every phone number on utility poles, begging for part-time gigs. I couldn't stand it. I walked over and asked, "Do you want to be my nanny?" At first, she was wary and asked what I wanted, but I transferred the money first. Relieved, she hurried off to pay the surgery bill. The next morning, before 7 a.m., she woke me up. "Boss, I'm downstairs at your dorm. I brought you breakfast. Come down and get it." Half asleep, I went down and grabbed the sandwich she made. But when I met her sparkling eyes, all my irritation vanished. Honestly, I didn't even want breakfast. What college student wakes up at 7 a.m.? But Jennifer never gave me the chance to sleep in. She thought that since she was getting paid, she had to do her job well. Every morning, without fail, she called me at 7:30 sharp. I would be sitting there biting into a sandwich, drinking hot milk, my eyes tearing up from sleepiness. This was all my own doing. One time, I ordered an 8-dish breakfast, hoping she'd be so busy that she wouldn't wake me up until 8 or 9. Who would have thought my dedicated little nanny would get up at 5:30? At exactly 7:29, she knocked on my bedroom door. "Boss, time for breakfast." My headache only got worse. How could I make her give up on breakfast duty? Maybe I should just make her my girlfriend. A girlfriend wouldn't wake me up so early, right? Turns out, I still had to get up early. Since we were living together, she actually got up even earlier. Every morning, she was already bustling around by 6 a.m., pulling me to the dining table to start the wonderful day, while all I wanted was to crawl back into bed for 20 more minutes. No matter how good the chicken soup was, it couldn't beat a few extra minutes of sleep. But no one understood my suffering. Everyone said I didn't know how lucky I was. Later, I discovered a pattern. If I put in a little extra effort at night, she couldn't get up the next morning. But even that didn't help. Jennifer might not get up, but I still had to. I had to get up to buy her favorite soup dumplings and soy milk, then coax her to eat. Why was it so hard to sleep in just once? Extra. Finals were approaching, and everyone was burning the midnight oil. Rumor had it Luke spent 888 yuan to buy key topics and notes from the top student in their major. When I heard about it, I slapped my thigh in regret. That money? How did someone else end up earning it? If I had known selling notes could make money, I would have written 8 versions easily. So I gritted my teeth and took a double major in finance. During the second semester's finals, I slapped a notebook in front of Luke. I had the professor highlight the key points. Want to buy it for cheap? That's how my side hustle started. A bunch of people came to me asking for notes. English, linear algebra, political science, you name it. Slightly dazed, I replied one by one. Got it all. 8 yuan per subject. Printed or digital, your choice. The power of finals was incredible. In just one morning, I sold almost 100 copies. Luke once asked me why I kept saving money. I told him I wanted to open a dessert shop. One day, Luke brought me to a beautifully decorated storefront. He asked, "What do you think of this place?" I looked around carefully and said, "Great location, nice decor, exactly my style." Then Luke suddenly handed me a set of keys. "What are these keys for?" Luke nodded toward the glass door. "For this place." I stared at him in surprise. "This shop is yours?" Luke smiled and ruffled my hair. "Silly. It's yours now. Go sell your little cakes, boss lady." Actually, Luke was quite controlling. He said I could run the shop however I wanted. But in reality, he strictly banned me from selling whole wheat bread because he didn't like it. I pouted and argued, "Why can't I sell it just because you don't like it? Other people like it." Luke wouldn't back down. "Who likes whole wheat bread? Show me one person in the world who does." I glared at him. "I don't care. There are people." I secretly listed it anyway. To sell it quickly before Luke found out, I even discounted it just 9.9 yuan a bag. But after 4 hours, only 1 bag sold, and that was because a lady accidentally dropped it and bought it out of embarrassment. In the end, Luke bought the remaining bags and gave them to his roommates. Later, Luke suddenly got the idea to learn how to bake cakes from me. He insisted on starting from mixing the batter, but he was so clumsy. No matter how much flour or eggs he added, the batter was always runny. It looked like it would never bake properly. I finally tricked him by saying I had already put his batch in the oven. Relieved, he let out a long sigh. In reality, I secretly switched it out with a different cake batter. Otherwise, we'd still be waiting at midnight. Then he awkwardly piped cream onto the cake and wrote some crooked letters. I squinted to read it, and finally made out, "Happy birthday, Jennifer." Only then did it hit me. It was my birthday. That night, Luke brought out the ugly cake and told me to make a wish and blow out the candles. He looked oddly expectant the whole time. After cutting the cake and even finishing a big slice, he finally asked in confusion, "How come you haven't found it yet?" I paused. "Found what?" He started digging through the remaining cake. "That's strange. Where are the rings I hid inside? They're not here." Suddenly, I felt guilty. I remembered that I had thrown away the original batter Luke made. No wonder he insisted on baking it himself. He was planning to hide something inside. If I had known, I wouldn't have swapped it. So in the freezing cold night, the two of us put on jackets and rushed to the dessert shop. After digging through the trash for 2 hours, I finally found the pair of platinum rings. The design was exquisite. with letters engraved on the inner band, gleaming under the street lamp. And so, standing amid a pile of garbage, we exchanged a lifetime promise with those rings.